who's going to be the grand poobah of the NFL. And Shane, why don't you start us off?
All right. I'm going to go with number 5. I've got the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh Steelers, I think, will be the 5th best team in football.
This me, I'm going to have to go with
Pittsburgh at number 5. I think the Steelers will definitely be in the top 5. They may even be up to number 3, in my opinion. I think them and my number 3 team could definitely switch spots. Number 4, I've got Dallas Cowboys. I think the Cowboys will still be in the top 5 as well with Romo, and I think T.O. will still be around. That'll probably be his last year. 2012, they may start to slip off, but we'll see. They're kind of like the Yankees. They don't rebuild, they reload, so we'll see. My number 3 team is the New England Patriots. I don't know what's going to happen with all this, but they've always kind of had that aging core of players, and I think once the Teddy Bruschies and the wide receivers start falling out, and we have to go with the younger core, and the offensive line starts taking a hit, I think they're going to be a much different team, and I really think that they're going to have a lot harder time competing. So they could easily flip-flop with the Steelers. I got the Indianapolis Colts at number 2, and my surprise team is the Minnesota Vikings. I think in 2011, the Vikings will be a team to be reckoned with, and that's... What's wrong, Dave? It's not because of Tarvaris Jackson, because I don't think Tarvaris will be there. I think they're going to do awful in 2008, and I think they'll have the number 1 pick in the 2009 draft, and hopefully that will give them something good.
So do you think John David Booty might be the guy who plays quarterback for the Vikings this year?
I'd say, yeah.
As a solid,
second half of the season, I think they throw him in there to see what they've got.
And from what I'm hearing, John David Booty has got the accuracy of Chad Pennington, so I think that's very possible. My top 5, I guess, is a little bit different, and I agree with you on the Patriots. The way that people are getting older, and I don't know how they're going to kind of readjust. Losing guys like Seau and the older folk that they got on that team, and it just seems like they're kind of crashing down, and with the whole Spygate thing and everything. My top 5, and the reason why I go Miami Dolphins at number 5 is because I think John Beck's going to be a quarterback, but Bill Parcells is down there. Miami is known for great defenses and known to getting off to good starts. They've been in the hole the last couple years. I think that Miami is going to be the team that kind of starts to reclaim that division with the Patriots taking a hit. Number 4, I have the Arizona Cardinals. Finally, just maybe finally, Anquan Bolden and Matt Leinart, and they got big tight ends down there, and I think the Arizona Cardinals are going to finally start to be a team that is talented, young, that people start getting behind, and is a team that's going to be in the playoffs and start to win their division. It's not a tough division to win either, and I don't think it's going to be a tough division to win in 3 years. Number 3, the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys are kind of like the Yankees, Did you compare the Cowboys to the Yankees? Yeah, I completely agree with what Shane said like that. And, Jerry Jones is not going to accept a bad team. They're not going to accept a losing team. They're always going to be in the mix. Number 2, the Bears, the Chicago Bears. I love Lovie Smith. I think he's a great coach. I think that city's rallied behind that team. I think the ownership's good. I think they're going to always have a steady defense. Devin Hester's not going anywhere. A lot of those guys, Urlacher will be in the twilight of his career. He'll still be there. It's going to obviously, Rex Grossman's not going to be there in 3 years if this is the case. Kyle Orton's not going to be there if they're the best, one of the top teams. And my number 1 team in 3 years is the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos are going to be the grand poobah. And Jay Cutler and Brandon Marshall, and we'll have a running back by then. I think the Denver Broncos will be king.
All right, so on to the next emailer then.
Right. Do we have an emailer I'm hearing?
Next email? Yes, we have another email. This is from Sean in Delaware.
Nice.
Sean writes, great show.
Sweet.
Who or what is going to be the biggest surprise in 2008?
Oh, great
and
question.
Also, who should I avoid on my fantasy football roster in 2008?
Great question. Shane, you want to start that off?
Yeah, I'll take that first. I'm gonna go with start with the players to avoid in 2008. I'm gonna say avoid Eli Manning. I think that the Giants are really going to fall off. I think I picked them as one of my busts this year. Most teams after the Super Bowl kind of do fall off. it was kind of like a Rocky story. They caught fire at the end of the season just at the right time, went all the way to the playoffs, and made it all the way to the finals, except for they closed the deal against a Boston team, unlike the Rockies. I think the Giants are going to struggle for sure next year, and I think Eli is going to have a rough season. You want to pick your bust?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with the biggest surprise of the 2008 NFL season. And this may not be a real big surprise, but I'm going to say the New Orleans Saints. I think the New Orleans Saints are going to go 13-3. They're going to be they're going to host a playoff game, and they're going to be, for the first time in their young existence or old existence, they're going to be a Super Bowl contender with Drew Brees and Deuce McAllister and Reggie Bush and Marcus Colston and DeVry Henderson and Will Smith. And I'm not talking about the guy from Beverly Hills or Philadelphia either. I'm talking about that big defensive end who puts up 9-10 sacks. As far as fantasy goes, I'm going to give you one to avoid and one to watch out for. I'm going to say avoid Larry Johnson. The guy's got injury problems. He's damaged goods right now. Can you really see him going 16 games this year behind kind of a weak Kansas City offensive line? And a guy that I suggest that you take would be Julius Jones. Sean Alexander is on his way out in Seattle. He's going to get most of the carries up in Seattle under Mike Holmgren. What will be the biggest disappointment of 2008? I believe Sean from Delaware said. I think Matt Ryan. I think Matt Ryan's a guy that didn't impress me much even in college. He just happened to be the best quarterback on the boards. And I think when you talk guys like Matt Ryan, you can kind of put him in the same category as Billy Joe Tolliver. Who? Exactly.
Yeah.
Or Billy Joe, or my other favorite guy, Billy Joe Danny Werfel, who's another guy that I think you can put in that.
Nice.
That you can put in that category.
All right. I guess then I'll go with my bust for 2008. I think that the Minnesota Vikings are going to flop, and I'm a big Vikings fan. I think they're going to end up with the worst record in the league. Everyone's going to know how to stick 8 in the box against Adrian Peterson. And I think that they're going to figure it out. And unless Tarvaris Jackson can figure out how to hit an open wide receiver, I think that the Vikings are going to struggle. Probably by the second half of the year, we will see some John David Booty, and we'll see what we have there. As far as the biggest surprises, I think that the Oakland Raiders are going to get the wild card spot in 2008.
That's a good one.
Their defense is good enough. We'll see what Jamarcus Russell can do, but they've got a good combination of running backs, good wide receivers. They got a pretty good team if they can have a quarterback that'll be pretty decent. And my second surprise is Kerry Colbert, I think, will be a Pro Bowler. I think that he's going to fit in a lot better in Denver than people are thinking, and I think he's a perfect complementary to Brandon Marshall and a second wide receiver.
I agree. So you think he will beat out Darrell Jackson?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, and with that, let me end this on a good note. Guys, we understand it's hard to be in this part of the year without any football, being right in the middle. It's kind of being stuck in the desert. Do you go back to your car? Do you try to make it to your destination? Well, our destination is the 2008 NFL football season, and one of the ways I recommend us getting through this together is to watch ShortCenter, because we think about football, 24/7. That's our jobs. That's what we get paid to do. And we're going to come up with the answers. You email us, you call us at 1-800-777-2907, and we're going to get you through this. And we are out of here. All right.